a lot of incredibly gifted, smart, sensitive people that I know get stuck in doing all the emotional processing, doing all the inner work, without actually translating it into their lives, without this becoming any kind of form in the external world. Now, before I go into the video, just a small heads up, I'm preparing a workshop about no more self-sabotage, where I teach people to follow through on the commitments that they make, while at the same time developing a deep sense of compassion to themselves. So these are not opposites, and this is also what I want to talk about in this video. If you're interested in the workshop, just drop me a comment and I'll send you all the information. So, there is a misbelief that if I just do enough emotional processing, if I just feel everything that arises, everything will unfold perfectly, and at some point there's going to be that place where I have no resistance anymore, where it's going to be super easy and flowy to just do everything that I feel called to do. And in my experience, that's a misbelief. There's a danger that when I follow that line of thinking, that I just focus more and more and more on emotional processing, and because I'm giving it focus, it's also going to grow. There's always going to be something. There's always going to be something coming up, some discomfort, some fear. And don't get me wrong, I think it's so important, especially in our very numb world, to actually give ourselves time to process, to slow down, to feel. At the same time, if we do just that, and if we don't balance that with actually taking action, then it's going to feel like just going in circles. There's not going to be any direction and any kind of, you could say, like a riverbed in which these emotional processes can unfold and can come up. So it will almost feel like meaningless. And I remember at a certain point in my life, maybe 5-6 years ago, I was in a very dark place and I had no direction in my life, and I was going through a lot of emotional processes, and I had this question come up of like, why the hell am I doing this? Like, what is this for? Because I had no greater sense of like, okay, I want to bring this into the world, and of course in this process emotions are going to come up, and that's totally valid. So basically what I'm teaching in all the things that I do is finding a balance between doing the inner work, between connecting more to what you might want to call the feminine, the compassionately embracing everything that's here, creating enough space and open-heartedness inside of yourself to feel safe, to feel okay as you are, to feel like nothing has to happen for you to just be here, like all is well. That's one side. And the other side is taking action, translating the insights that you gain while you're exploring yourself and actually turning them into reality. And that would be more, from my perspective, the masculine pole. Now, when we only focus on the feminine, again, we're going to go in circles. If we only focus on the masculine, it's also not healthy. We're going to get numb, we're going to get disconnected, we might reach our goals, but we will not feel fulfilled when we reach our goals. So basically, we need to be able, and that takes time, to learn when it's time to process, to slow down, to feel, and when it's time to take action. And now when you take action, of course things are going to come up. Fears are going to come up, worries, resistance, things are going to come up, and that's not wrong. We don't need to believe like, oh, that means I'm doing something wrong. No, it's part of the process. Now, as you're taking action, don't let yourself get stopped by these things that come up, okay? Feel them, breathe with them, but don't focus on them too much. And once you're done, once you've done a little bit of what you set yourself up to, then you can take time again to process. So the bottom line of what I want to share in this video is, what has helped me incredibly in my life is I have a lot of time to process and to feel and to slow down. And then I have times where I take action. And when I've decided to take action towards something, I don't stop in the middle because something comes up and and I'm not so sure, because I understand it's part of the process. When I set an intention and I move towards it, things are going to come up. It's like a natural law. And I don't take that as a sign that I did something wrong. I just keep on going. And at some point that I define beforehand, I stop again and I feel and I learn. And maybe I realized I was going in the wrong direction, and that's fine. But we need to be able to take some time to take action without allowing ourselves to constantly change direction. You might think that that's freedom, to be like, oh, I can change direction at any point, but it's actually hell, because you're never ever gonna get somewhere, because again, things are always gonna come up, regardless of how aligned things are and how much emotional processing you're doing. There are things that are gonna come up. It's completely fine. Just find the balance between slowing down and feeling, taking action, staying focused, and then taking time again to process. All right? Once again, I'm doing this workshop, No More Self-Sabotage, where I share my approach on how to follow through on the commitments that I make to myself, and at the same time stay deeply compassionate to myself. For me, it only works if I do both. If I do just one and not the other, then I suffer. Very excited about it. There's already about 15 people who signed up. So let me know in the comments and I'll send you all the information. If you have any other questions about this topic, please let me know. Would love to help you. And I'll talk to you very soon. Much love.